Hello there, you amazing viewers and subscribers. Welcome to a new Doctor Who topic video for today. So in this video, I'm going to talk about every single incarnation of the Doctor played by William Hartnell down to Jody Whitaker, and I'm going to put them into my favourite orders at the end of the video because my favourite order has changed quite a lot, really. I mean, Jody Whitaker, a couple of weeks ago, she was literally second to least favourite Doctor. She's moved up. She really has moved up quite a few spaces. So I thought I'd talk about that and then talk about each Doctor separately, and then the companions and what I like from their era. So jumping into this video, I'm going to start talking about the first Doctor played by William Hartnell, who played the Doctor from 1963 to 1966. And William Hartnell's Doctor, he does mellow over his course of his run as the Doctor. We see his Doctor, when we meet him, he's very, very grumpy. He has some great dark moments where he wants to bash somebody's head in with a skull, and then Ian Chester has to stop him. I really enjoy that. And the way the Doctor is in this one, he's not really the Doctor that we specifically get to know him, because his basically treatment doesn't change until around about the second Doctor kicks in, because this is the Doctor where he's just travelling. He's not really interfering as much. Yes, he interferes helping the Fowls against the Daleks and Skaro. He doesn't want to interfere in like history events, like say in the Aztecs where he tells Barbara saying, "You cannot rewrite history, not one line." And of course with the Reign of Terror, you have some other great ones. Now season 3, his era. Now, season 3 of Doctor Who General is his third season as the Doctor. His third and last season, in a way, because he is only in for 2 stories in season 4, which is basically missing. His final season is literally missing. We've only got 3 existing episodes, which you do see his Doctor change from The Unearthly Child. When you watch, like, up to the War Machines or the 10th Planet, his Doctor's changed quite a lot. Unfortunately, a lot of his stories is missing for the 3rd season, so we don't... Some people say he mellows right in between season 2 and 3, where others says, oh, he mellows in between 3 and a little bit of season 4. But watching season 2, I really think he mellows at like halfway through season 2. Like when Vicky comes into it, he's not really as strict as he used to be with Susan, Ian and Barbara. With Vicky, he just kind of mellows. Now, William Hartnell passed away in 1975, so his Doctor only appeared in one multi-Doctor story, which is The Three Doctors. But the first Doctor has appeared in 2 more multi-Doctor stories. One, The Five Doctors, played by Richard Herndon in 1983. And of course, we have David Bradley, who played him in Twice Upon a Time. But the first Doctor is the one that the show started off with. He ran away from Gallifrey because he was bored or whatever his excuses. If you watch Doctor Who like I have done from the classic era up to modern Who, you kind of hear the Doctor say different excuses for why he left Gallifrey. The second Doctor said he was bored. The third Doctor said... I can't remember what the third Doctor said. What was it? I don't know. I know over the years the Doctor's like giving a load of answers to why he left Gallifrey, that he was bored, that he was scared of the hybrid, he was scared what he could be, you know, so on and so on and so on. But the first Doctor is a great start to the show. Now, he is my 8th favourite Doctor because some other Doctors I've got some great stuff in their era. Hartnell's Doctor, even though he's like the very first Doctor, he has got some great stuff in his run. Like, if you watched my top 5 episodes yesterday, that's it. That's what I'm going to say about that one. So, jumping into the second Doctor now. The second Doctor was played by Patrick Troughton from the year 1966 to 1969, continuing over the rest of season 4 and 2 main full-on series as the second Doctor. We also see a lot of stuff happen in his run. We have Ben and Polly's departure. We have Jamie as an introduction, and he becomes one of the Doctor's longest companions. We meet Victoria, who is the shortest companion, and Zoe. They kind of don't last long in Troughton's story, where if you watch Eve of the Daleks up to Through from the Deep, that's all Victoria's run. And then if you watch it from The Wheel in Space up to the War Games, that's Zoe's kind of lot there. Where Jamie's in it all through his main stuff, all through his stories, Jamie's the best companion for Troughton's Doctor. Now, this Doctor, again, like William Hartnell's Doctor, he fought against the Daleks. I mean, Hartnell's Doctor fought the Daleks against them 4 times. Troughton only encountered them twice, but he kind of battled the Cybermen 5 times. Because if you think about it, you got the Moon Base, the 2, Will in Space, and the Invasion. Sorry, 4. He encountered them 4 times. Like, Hartnell did it with the Daleks. He encountered them 4 times. Now, Troughton's Doctor acts like he's a fool. He's very, very great at acting like the fool. Like, he tries to trick his villains, where they think he's just this stupid, sort of humanoid person, but he's very, very intelligent, and he knows how to defeat them. And this is the Doctor, as I said, that starts to interfere in other people's and planets' affairs, which is one of the reasons why the Time Lords put him on trial at the end. Now, the Time Lords were introduced in this final episode of the War Games, episode 10. But they were previously mentioned in episode 9 of the War Games. Now, I really like Troughton's run. Now, Troughton, believe it or not, is actually my 3rd favourite Doctor. He is great. He acts like the fool. He's something the Doctor should be, especially when you see him acting like with his facial expressions, where when you've got the Dalek coming through in episode 2 of either the Daleks, and the Dalek goes, "Now, do you understand, Doctor?" And he goes, "Yes, oh, yes, yes, very much so," like that. And then when he's literally talking, he has some great expressions, like, say, when he's talking about the Moon Base, that goes, "There's been some terrible corners of the universe that were activating everything we believe in. They must be fought." I really enjoy Troughton's run as the 2nd Doctor. I really think it's great. So, jumping into the 3rd Doctor now. Now, after we see the 2nd Doctor basically put on trial by the Time Lords and exiled to Earth, we don't really see him change his appearance. So, the next time we basically see the Doctor is when the TARDIS lands in 1970, or is it 1970 or 1980? The unit database is very, very confusing in between the 3rd and 4th Doctors. So when you see the 3rd Doctor, played by John Pertwee from 1970 to 1974, he basically collapses on the ground and he's put into hospital. Now, this Doctor is the one that basically started becoming Earth's defender. He's the Doctor that basically became the Earth's defender, which is something that New Who Doctors came. This planet is defended by me. It's mainly John Pertwee's Doctor that basically started becoming the defender of the Earth. Again, also, we meet, like, as I mentioned, William Hartnell encountered the Daleks the first time, and the Cybermen were trying to encounter the Cybermen, like, 4 times. Pertwee encountered the Daleks 3 times. He encountered the Master on a dozen times. He never really come across the Cybermen in his own run until the 1983 special, The 5 Doctors. That's when he comes across the Cybermen, but that's mainly another story for the 5th Doctor's run. I really enjoy John Pertwee's Doctor. He's my 4th favourite Doctor. John Pertwee's Doctor, he's very, very James Bond type. He has the cool gadgets. He has a car named Bessie. He even has the Whomobile in season 11. And also he fights against the dinosaurs. He also fights against Daleks, Draconians, Ogrons, the Master. You name it, his era is full on packed. Now, with 3 seasons stuck on Earthbound, when you get to the 10th season, which is his 4th season as the 3rd Doctor, he basically gets his punishment lifted off because he's out of exile. He gets his freedom back. But he mainly ran about season 10 and 11. He does like have 2 major stories with Unit, like the Invasion of the Dinosaurs and Planet of the Spiders for season 11. With season 10, you've got the 3 Doctors and, of course, the Green Death. I really enjoy season 10 because I think it's a great John Pertwee season, followed by season 7, then 8, 11, and then 9. I really enjoy some great stuff. Even when you see him like do the Fashion Aikido, where he just goes height like that. Especially, it's not good to do martial arts or Aikido against a Sea Devil, when the Sea Devil knows what you're about to do. Great stuff. So then, when John Pertwee got radiation poisoning and his Doctor regenerated into the next Doctor, played by Tom Baker, who played the Doctor from 1974 to 1981, and he's the longest running Doctor up to date, unless you count some of the stuff where you have like breaks in the show where it got cancelled and other stuff. But to me, he is the longest Doctor. 7 years in his run, 7 great seasons. He's absolutely magnificent. Now, Tom Baker is my first favourite Doctor. He's my all-time favourite Doctor. He always has been. I always loved his Doctor. Very quirky and eccentric. I mean, would you like a jelly baby? I really enjoyed Tom Baker's performance as the Doctor. He has some great stories in his run. Now, Tom Baker's Doctor encountered the Daleks twice. He encountered the Cybermen once. He fought against the Master 4 times. We also went to Gallifrey in his era as well, in the Deadly Assassin. And, of course, we have the Santarans, which basically were introduced in the John Pertwee era. But the Santarans are in Tom Baker's story, in two Tom Baker stories. One of them where they invade Gallifrey. We meet the Ferdons, we meet the captain of the pirate planet. We also encounter the Black Guardian and the White Guardian. We also encounter K9, who is one of the best companions. We have Sarah Jane, we have Harry, Leela, Romana 2, Adric, Nissa and Tegan. Sorry. I really enjoyed Tom Baker's run as the 4th Doctor. He is the Doctor. He is magnificent. The way you see him act in some stories where seasons 12 to 14 are his best. They are from the Finch Hinchcliffe era. Finch Hinchcliffe is best. This is his Mark trilogy. I always class these 3 seasons as a trilogy season because they are just absolutely magnificent and they follow one after the other. I mean, if you watch like Revenge of Cybermen and then the next season you have Terror of the Santaran, Zygons, they're basically just continue straight through, which is absolutely great stuff. And then you get to season 15, 16, 17, which are from the Graham Williams era, and that's got some great stuff in it. I mean, you have the Horror of Van Rock, the Pirate Planet, the Stones of Blood, the Armageddon Factor, the City of Death, and Shudder. I really enjoy Tom Baker's run. He's very, very great as the Doctor. Absolutely magnificent. He's just spot on as the Doctor. So coming into Legopolis, where he's defending the planet from the Master, after the Master's destroyed the universe by meddling in with Legopolis, the 4th Doctor sacrifices himself to save the universe, and he regenerates into his next incarnation, played by Peter Davison, who played the Doctor from 1981 to 1984. If you go by some stuff, some people say it's 1982 to 94, but it's not. He's actually regenerated on the 31st of March, 1981. So Davison became the Doctor in 1981, not 1982, because even though that does have the bit of the regeneration stuff, he still regenerated and still became the Doctor on the 31st of March, 1981. Now, Davison's Doctor inherits his last three companions from Tom Baker's Doctor, like Adric, Nissa and Tegan. So this Doctor is very, very young. He's youthful. He does say when he next he was never happy in this incarnation because he has some reflectless charm, which wasn't him. I really like the way Davison plays the 5th Doctor. Now, Davison is indeed my 5th favourite Doctor. I really like some of his stories. He's got some great stuff. You've got Earthshock, Castrovalva, The Visitation. You have The 5 Doctors, Resurrection of the Daleks, Planet of Fire, and The Caves of Androsani from his era. And they're absolutely great stories. And I really enjoyed Davison's Doctor. He has some great character moments. He even acts like a bit like William Hartnell's Doctor in episode 1 and 2. Because you just see him go, like that, like William Hartnell did there with the like that. William Hartnell did that, but Davison does it so well, and he does it for most of his stories. And most people don't like Davison because he let his companion Adric blow up. But that was Adric's, to be honest, that wasn't the Doctor's fault, because the Cybermen shot the TARDIS console, so the TARDIS couldn't materialise there. So that's one thing I'm sticking up for that one, saying because the Cybermen shot the TARDIS console, that's why you're going to go and save Adric. I really enjoyed Davison's run. Now, The Visitation is my all-time favourite Davison story, followed by Earthshock and then The Caves of Androsani, which The Caves of Androsani is my favourite regeneration story. Don't get me wrong, it's just, I really love that. I prefer that to some of the other stuff, like Legopolis and the Planet of the Spiders. Not Castrovalva, sorry. What was I saying? The Caves of Androsani is my favourite regeneration story. Now, Davison also encountered the Master, he encountered Cybermen, he encountered Daleks, Davros, and even encountered the Time Lords, and basically he was offered the role of the presidency of the Time Lords, and he ran into his TARDIS, and never went back, which is another good thing. I really enjoy Davison's Doctor. I mean, yes, he fought against Omega, like the 3rd Doctor and the 2nd Doctor did, and the 1st Doctor did in the 3 Doctors. Yes, you do have the return of the Black Guardian who wants to kill the Doctor, which is basically defeated by Tarlo. I really enjoyed Davison's run. Now, Davison, as I said, regenerated at the end. Not even a last season, because his last season, he has like 6 stories, and then they literally just shoved on Colin Baker's story at the end of this season, of season 21, which I wish they would have waited for that one. They could have filmed it a lot better and done some great stuff into it, but I get why they did it. They didn't want Doctor Who fans to wait until January. Again, Davison's Doctor, as I say, was very, very useful. Now, his companions, he had Adric, Nyssa and Tegan, Tarlo, Chameleon and Perry. So he had 6 companions in his run. Even though Perry was his last companion because he regenerated when Perry saw him die and regenerate. He had some great stuff. Now, coming into the 6th Doctor now. The 6th Doctor is played by Colin Baker, who played the Doctor from 1984 to 1986. Now, Colin Baker is my 7th favourite incarnation of the Doctor. I really enjoy Colin Baker's Doctor. Not many people do. Yes, I really hate the twin dilemma. I absolutely hate the twin dilemma. But the thing is, though, that's the only bad story of his era, that and Timeless. But the rest of his stuff is absolutely great. Attack of the Cybermen, Fetches of Varos, Mark of the Irani, The Two Doctors, and Revolution of the Daleks, plus Trial of a Time Lord. He's just great. And the way you see him, like, deliver that line in Trial of a Time Lord. In all my troubles in the universe, my battles against evil, against the power-mad conspirators, I should have stayed here. The oldest civilization, Roderick, degenerate, and rotten to the core. Daleks, Santarans, Cybermen. They're still in the nursery compared to us. 10 million years of absolute power. That's what it takes to be really corrupt. I really love that speech from Trial of a Time Lord. I really do. Colin Baker was actually sacked because the head of the producer at the time, Michael Grading, who was a bit of a dick, said that each Doctor should have round about 3 seasons. And because Colin Baker had the hiatus in 1985, they classed that as his 3-series run. So they gave him the sack and he wouldn't come back to film his regeneration, which I don't really mind. Because if he came back in his regeneration, we wouldn't have Doctor Who, the 6th Doctor's Last Adventure on Big Finish. Because that is just a great stuff. You've got 4 great stories with the Doctor battling against the Valiard, and he regenerates into the 7th Doctor in that story, which is just great. I do enjoy that Big Finish story. So, coming into the 7th Doctor now, played by Sylvester Mccoy, from 1987 to 1989, containing over the last 3 seasons of Classic Who. Now, Sylvester Mccoy, as you all know, is my 2nd favourite incarnation of the Doctor. He's my 2nd favourite Doctor. I love his era because, 1, he is dark, he becomes the chess master, he becomes very, very great in the role, and I would have loved to have seen a 4th season with him as the Doctor. I really enjoyed Sylvester Mccoy. Now, Sylvester Mccoy had Mal and Ace. Mal basically joined the Doctor in his travels in his 6th incarnation during Trial of a Time Lord, but she's in a ton of Big Finish stuff played by Bonnie Langford. But the 7th Doctor really gets going when you have Sophie Aldred in as Ace, because the 2 of them have a great dynamic and stuff. Now, the 7th Doctor also battled against Daleks, Cybermen, and the Master. Also, he encountered the great, the gods of Ragnarok in the Great Show in the Galaxy. He also come across the Heatherfalls, and even the entity known as Fenric. Also, you can meet him in some other great stories, as well as the Irani. Now, I really enjoy Sylvester McCoy's run. Not many people do, but I really think people need to give it a rewatch, because it's not just Time and Irani. Yes, Time and Irani was not actually written for his Doctor. It was written for Colin Baker to come in and do the regeneration, but because Colin Baker said no, they had to change a lot of it to make it into McCoy. That's why that story's bad. If you watch behind the stuff, like in the season 24 box set, which I've got up here, if I just grab that. If you got this box set, watch one of the documentaries on Time and Irani and on the DVD, they actually would say that it was actually written for Colin Baker to come back and do his regeneration story. Now, Sylvester McCoy's Doctor basically was finished in 1989 because that's when it was cancelled. But he came back 7 years later to do a regeneration scene into Doctor Who, the movie, in 1996. So after that regeneration scene in 1996, we got up to the 8th Doctor, played by Paul McGann, who played the Doctor in 2 on-screen appearances and a ton of Big Finish stuff from 1996 and 2013. Now, Paul McGann, I'm going to say this, he's my 13th Doctor, my 13th favourite Doctor. He's second to least because 2 TV appearances. I haven't heard all his Big Finish stuff. If I listen to all his Big Finish stuff, I probably guarantee he would move up on the list. But the movie sucks. The movie ain't that good as well for his Doctor, which is unfortunately because it was supposed to be a pilot, but it didn't work out. So then at least we got him to do the regeneration scene. But since 2001, even to now, 2001 to 2021, so 20 years later, Paul McGann is still being the Doctor in Big Finish. He's got some great stuff. You've got him in the Time War box sets, which is really great because through the Big Finish stuff, you hear a lot of his Doctor. Now, I haven't heard all of his Big Finish stuff yet, so he'd probably move up the list after I've heard a few Big Finish stuff. So talking about the next Doctor, played by John Hurt, aka not an incarnation Doctor, because this Doctor is in fact the Doctor that fought in the Time War. The Time War is a 400-year-old gap thing. So that's another thing I'm going to talk about. But John Hurt played the Doctor in 2013 for the 50th anniversary. That's the only time he's been on screen. But since then, he appeared in Big Finish, and then the actor passed away in 2017. But now Big Finish have got somebody else to do a younger person to take on John Hurt's War Doctor. So I'm still need to listen to that one. But John Hurt's Doctor, he is great. I do like him because he's not really the Doctor. He's just there fighting the Time War. The Time War was a very, very big, complicated factor in Doctor Who canon. So, which is the one thing I'm going to try and do in another video. So talking about the 9th Doctor now, the War Doctor originates into the 9th Doctor, played by Christopher Eccleston in 2005 for only 13 episodes. Now, Christopher Eccleston is my 9th favourite Doctor. Yes, he's after William Hartnell. I just like Christopher Eccleston's Doctor. I think he's very, very dark. He has some great stuff when you see him talking to the Daleks. He basically interferes in the long game and really, he gets it wrong. He interferes, and then 100 years later, he goes back into the Satellite 5, and then he finds out what he's done, and it's ruined Earth completely, and he goes, that was me. Oh my God, I did this. But Eccleston's Doctor has some great moments in his run. I do prefer Rose Tyler with the 9th Doctor, because one, there's no lovey-dovey stuff going on between them. It's just, he's the Doctor, he's the survivor of the Time War, he meets Rose, she's helping him become the Doctor again, and then he absorbs the Time Vortex to save her life, and then he goes off to regenerate into the 10th Doctor. Now, the 10th Doctor, it was played by David Tennant in 2005 to 2010. Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this. A lot of hate. He is my least favourite Doctor. I just want to say that out there. Tennant is my least favourite Doctor. He is the 14th in my list. He is my least. I just don't like his Doctor. I don't like the way they got him to be. If Tennant could have been a great Doctor if they didn't do none of the lovey-dovey stuff, none of the snoggy, none of the relationship stuff that they did for his Doctor in series 2 and 3, and of course in Planet of the Dead with Michelle Ryan. Series 4 is his best series. Series 4 is his absolute best. Now, the 10th Doctor is which has some great stuff in it, played from 2005 to 2010. Because he regenerated, well, literally, he regenerated in... The 9th Doctor became the 10th Doctor on the 18th of June, 2005. And Tennant basically regenerated on the 1st of January, 2010 into the 11th Doctor. Over that, there will be a ranking video of his episodes, which are like my top 5 Tennant episodes, which he has got some great episodes in. It's just I don't like the lovey-dovey stuff. Tennant isn't really a bad actor. I don't want... With Russell T Davies coming back, I don't want Tennant to come back. Like people are saying, oh, Tennant should come back. No, don't bring him back, because knowing Russell, he would do more relationship stuff with Tennant's doctor, which is something that should never happen ever again. We don't need no more lovey-dovey stuff. That's it. End it now completely. No more lovey-dovey stuff. We just don't need no more lovey-dovey stuff. No more lovey-dovey. Get rid of that completely. So, coming off the 10th Doctor, going into the 11th Doctor, played by Matt Smith, who is my 10th favourite Doctor. I do like Matt Smith's Doctor a lot more than David Tennant's, especially when he's in 10th. Again, Matt Smith played the 11th Doctor from 2010 to 2013. And he has Amy and Rory River as companions. And then he goes and meets Clara, who won't stop dying. Clara does not stop dying through most of Series 7. She literally doesn't die. She dies in the Son of the Daleks, the Snowman. And that's mainly it. But Clara doesn't stop dying. Even there's a song, like the 12 Days of Christmas, and it says, Clara won't stop dying. You need to listen to that one. But Matt Smith's portrayal of the Doctor is great, because Series 5, he becomes useful and energetic and stuff. And then Series 6, you kind of see his Doctor turn into a darker personality. I mean, if you like watch him when a good man goes to war, today's not a good day to find out why I have so many enemies. I do like Matt Smith when he plays the 11th Doctor. And the stuff he does that's really, really dark is great stuff. I can name a lot of dark stuff that he does, especially in Series 7. I was really enjoying Matt Smith's Doctor. Sorry to all you Tennant fans, but Matt Smith is better than Tennant. His incarnation of the Doctor. I just don't like Tennant's Doctor that much, because I think they do too much lovey-dovey stuff. So, coming in from Matt Smith's Doctor into the 12th Doctor, played by Mr. Peter Capaldi, who played the Doctor from 2013 to 2017. Now, Peter Capaldi is my 6th favourite Doctor. Yes, Capaldi is the modern Doctor that is very, very high in my list of the out of ranking all the Doctors into my favourite order. Capaldi is my 6th favourite because I just love his era. I absolutely love his era. Series 8, I really enjoy Series 8. There's a few episodes that are not that good. Series 9, again, you've got some good stuff in there, but not about most of it is bad. But Series 10, I just love Series 10 completely. I really love Series 10. Now, Capaldi, as you know, he travels with Clara after he basically inherits Clara after Matt Smith's 11th Doctor. And he also has Nardole and Belle. He meets River. Like most of his past incarnations, he encounters Daleks, Cybermen, the Master, who is now in a female version called Missy. You have some great stuff. Also, the return of the Zygons. That basically they returned in the 50th anniversary, but he basically encounters them in this incarnation. I just really, really enjoy Peter Capaldi's amazing 12th Doctor. And his following generation story, his last story, which is Twice Upon a Time, I think that's great because I literally got the 12th Doctor about to go on to regenerate, and you got the first Doctor saying exactly the same thing as the 12th Doctor, which I really think is great stuff. It's one of the reasons why I love Peter Capaldi. Peter Capaldi has some great talent. He's great as the Doctor. Yes, he has some great dark moments in Series 8, and as well as Series 10. Series 9, he basically ditches some of the dark stuff, but he becomes like a comedian sort of thing. Like when he walks out there with a guitar on the tank saying, I bought it from my tank, from my fish. Oh, come on! Like that. Like Peter Capaldi's Doctor, I really think he's magnificent. So coming into the current Doctor now, played by Jody Whitaker. Jody Weirker is now my 11th favourite Doctor. She's moved up from 13th. She's literally moved up 2 places. I just can't put any higher because I really enjoyed the rest of the other Doctors. I really enjoy all of the other Doctors. Jodie's Doctor, I physically didn't used to enjoy as much. That's my fault. But over the week before, I rewatched all of her stories completely so I can get ready for the Halloween apocalypse. And she's grown on me. She's grown on me completely. And she will never be in the top 10. She will never be in the top 5. But at least she's made it into 11th place. And now, as we all know, she's played the Doctor from 2017 from her generation up to 2022. Because next year we're having 3 specials, and then the final special we're going to have her regeneration story. So Jodie, I really enjoy her Doctor at the moment. I think she's great in the role. I have to admit, she's a lot better than Paul McGann, and she's 10 times better than Tennant's Doctor, because she hasn't gone around falling in love. And she has some great stuff, especially in the Halloween Apocalypse. I really enjoy her in that episode, and Revolution of the Daleks, and Series 12. A few episodes of Series 11 are great. You got not some great ones, but you do have some bad ones. So she's really good in the historian episodes. I really enjoy her run so far. I'm quite looking forward to see how she's going to bail out next year. But Jody's Doctor, I physically do enjoy. Now, I've watched the Halloween Apocalypse 9 times, because we watched it 3 times yesterday. I know, that's bad of me. I've watched it 9 times. 9 times I've rewatched the Halloween Apocalypse. And I really enjoyed it. And I like how she's still asking questions about the Timeless Children story arc that we had in Series 12. Like, she's asking, like, this alien, this dog alien creature, Kostavine, about the division. And he goes, I can't tell you about the division. Stop asking me about the division. I want to know about the division. I like the way Jody just does, Jody's Doctor just continues that story arc on. I really enjoy that. So that's some stuff about the Doctors I really enjoy. So as I say, putting the Doctors all into my favourite order, we have, my first favourite is definitely Tom Baker. That will never change. Second favourite is Sylvester Mccoy. That will never change. My third favourite is Patrick Troughton. My fourth favourite is John Pertwee. My fifth favourite is Peter Davison, because I've just enjoyed Peter Davison's Doctor. Sixth favourite is Peter Capaldi. My seventh favourite Doctor is Colin Baker, followed by William Hartnell in 8th place. 9th place it is Christopher Eccleston, followed by Matt Smith in 10th place. 11th, then after Matt Smith, it is Jody Whitaker. She's moved up 2 places, and I can't put her any higher than that, because the other Doctors, I just enjoy those eras a lot more. Then, of course, we have John Hurt. He's only in it because he's only in, like, for 1 episode as the War Doctor. If I was going to put this in by his Big Finish stuff, then it'd be probably higher, but I'm only going by the TV appearances. Followed by Paul McGann in 13th place, and then last place, last place, because of the lovey-dovey stuff we have in Series 2 between Ten and Rose, and the stuff going on between the Doctor and Martha, and, of course, Lady Christina, is the 10th Doctor, played by David Tennant. Let me know in the comments, how do you rank each of the Doctors? What is your favourite Doctor's moment? Let me know whatever you think about this video. Thank you for watching this video. Please do like, subscribe and share, and join me for more Doctor Who content tomorrow.